What's up?
What's up, everyone?
What's going on? What's going on, ladies? How y'all doing?
Great. We are back with another episode of MelBee's Tea and a Cup of Joe live on the Sunday.
Live. We live, baby. We live.
That's right. We live and we lit. Because today's topic is a very controversial. Look, I can't even talk.
Look,
I can't even talk. But yes, we're gonna jump right into today's topic. It's the
WAP versus DAPs.
That's right. The DAPs,
WAPs, however you want to pronounce it.
DAPs, DUPs, whatever you want to call it.
WAPS versus the DAPs.
The DAPs. For those of you that don't know what a DAP is dry ass pockets, meaning broke. Okay. And for those of you that don't know what WAP stands for, it stands for wet ass.
Let Joe say what it means.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like,
what does WAP mean, Joe? Because we ladies and everything.
It sounds like wet ass pussy. That's what it sounds like.
Oh my.
Yo. Okay, yeah. We'll see how this is gonna go.
Has everybody seen the video that everybody got the whole internet losing their damn mind?
Like typing all fast and shit.
Yeah, I'm not impressed with that. Yep.
You're not impressed.
They're not impressed at all.
No.
I mean, it's the stuff that most women be talking about, and everybody, a lot of them feel like that the pussy is power. So, I can't take away from that thing, but it's just the same stuff I heard all the time. Just like they said, you can get what you want, how you want it. If you're sexing them right and all that good stuff, but they really don't mean nothing at the end. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, because he's still going to go get some other pussy, and he still can go do some other things. So I mean, besides him trying to come back to it, then that's a different thing. That's a different situation. But this is your topic, Mel, so I believe that you handle that. Hey, leave, man.
Before we jump into Mel, it being her topic, I just want to, how you call it? There's a comment from Mel Sama. He said he's not watching that at all because the dry shit is negative. It's not so much about it being negative. It's the whole spin on if you have dry ass pockets, you can't expect wet ass. Yeah. So, I mean, this is not my rule. This has nothing to do with us. This is what we've been seeing online. And I think that's what that video was trying to, in my mind, portray. That, you can't get a woman like this if you broke. And in my opinion, I think the video was whack. I already know. I posted this already earlier. I'm not feeling the lyrics. And I think the video was, very cheap looking.
Mediocre.
It's so common. Everybody does the same thing. Twerk, ass out, titties out. Hoish behavior. That's what the media is pushing, and I feel like it's been done. I want to see something new. That's it. That's my opinion on the actual video. But the topic of the show really don't have nothing to do with the video too much. It's just about expectations that men have when it comes to certain women.
Wow.
I think when I'm sorry. Yeah, you're running your thing.
What I was gonna say was, I just feel like, it's a sad time for broke men. The broke men are very upset right now because they're used to having all of their sexual desires, and their expectations met for free. Okay. And I'm not saying that people should be out there prostituting. Please don't cut me on that. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that a lot of the times, these music videos have given women all of these requirements and things that, behaviors that we have to have in the bedroom, but they never show like, okay, what the woman gets out the deal. It's always the men's satisfaction is top priority. And I feel like this video is kind of like a wake-up call to those men that feel like they can put in little effort, but have all of these, throw it back and, the penis in the back of the throat, the little hangy thing, as Cardi B says. But let me just let y'all know, it's called a uvula. That is the correct biological term. It's called a uvula. But they want all this stuff, and then they don't even want to take you to dinner. They don't want to put a ring on it. They want you cooking and cleaning and doing all this stuff. So, I mean, what y'all think? Because I could go on and on. Okay.
Well, I gotta interject real quick. I think technically, men are paying for it directly or indirectly. So, directly or indirectly, I think a lot of men are paying for it indirectly most of the time. Because you just put a one, two do get to take you out on dates. You're paying for it. There's an objective down the road where you may want to be with them, whether it be in a relationship or you might want to be with them sexually. So if you go out on a date, like I had this. Let me tell you about this experience. I remember back in the day. I used to use a phone chat line. I used to use a phone chat line, and I remember pretty much the girl was like, she was like, well, boom, 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 you sound nice, you sound cool, so we can really skip everything and just really, if you give me like $40, be good. I was like, oh, word? I was like, nah, I kind of like to have these.
That sounds like Backpage.
Nah. It
That's
was like
the
she
whole
was like,
$40 thing started.
Yeah. She was like, I was like, nah. I was like, I kind of want to have experience and get to know you, blah blah blah. She was like, nah, because if you think about it, if we go out on a date, get something to eat, go out to the movies, you still paying for it. It's indirectly though. I was like, damn, you might be right. And I was like, damn, I never looked at it that way. So I think, broke is a whole different level. Now, if you have a certain requirement as a woman as far as what you want, and then he's just like, well, I ain't got it. And you know what they say, it ain't tricking if you got it, right?
Okay.
So,
let's not try to act and be coy and act like every man is taking a woman to a restaurant before he has sex with her.
It may not be a restaurant.
Because when we talk about sex to me is an even exchange. It shouldn't be like, oh, I'm only doing this because I got A, B, and C out of it. If you have sex with somebody and you want to know, well, what am I getting out the deal? You got a nut. At the end of the day, some men look at it like that, and some women look at it like that too. Like, you don't even have to take me out to dinner. I just want my sexual needs pleased and met, and that's what I'm here for. So.
But I don't know. I feel like everybody don't fit in the category of just wanting a nut as far as a woman is concerned. Like, I feel like that's more like a man thing. Like, women, I know, speaking from experience, anytime I share my body with a person, like, feelings is going to get involved, and it's kind of hard. Like, the female body is very complex, okay? And not every guy is going to take the time, unless he truly cares about you, not really going to take the time to learn your body to bring you to that orgasm. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, if not every time, a man is going to, complete his task. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like as far as like putting in some type of effort, I feel like that's where the issue comes from. Because it's not always just about having sex and having some type of enjoyment. You want to know if this is going to lead to something. Do we have a future? Like, is this man capable of, supporting a family if I get pregnant, you know? And I think that's why a lot of women, you know, are opening their eyes and saying, like, I cannot have sex with a man that is a bum on the street. I can't have sex with somebody that I make more money than them. If they're already poor, you know, like they're not gonna be able to, if they're already poor, they're not going to be able to instantly become rich because I have sex with them. Like that, their financial situation is not going to change. And so then you have women that's out there working 2-3 jobs while the man is sitting home on PlayStation, and then she's supposed to come home, cook, clean, and twerk. Like, I mean, I feel like it's for those type of women that needs to be like, okay, what am I getting out the deal? I'm not talking about like somebody you meet on POF, somebody that you meet on any type of dating website. You should be like, oh, you gotta pay my tuition. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm like the regular person, regular woman is going to look at like a future with this person. Is the future bright or dull?
John.
To tell you the truth, to give you the history on it, I feel like women who actually do that kind of thing, as far as, you know, they use their body as not even a weapon, but they use their body for entrepreneurship. I don't see what's wrong with your body. Because you know, it's the history behind it. Like back in the day in the Wild Wild West, prostitution is what helped build up the West. You know what I'm saying? Not saying it's prostitution that they're doing, but you pretty much, I mean, women, they had, you know, the houses, and the workers out there that was, you know, building up the Wild Wild West, they get bored, but they had plenty of money, and the madams would come, they had girls, and they exchanged money for sex. And on a low key, the madam actually had a big say so in the Wild Wild West, and as far as in the development and as far as in capital, because they always had all the money. So they was really on the low, like in coalition with the mayors, and the people that was around building up these towns. It's exactly, it's the oldest profession out there. So I think it's really not that much different than what it is. You know what I'm saying?
So do you think that women that are hypersexual or very free with their sexuality, super successful, do you think they think it's okay for them to deal with like broke dudes? Do you think that
that's their option? That's what I mean. That's the option.
I'm wording it wrong, but meaning like there's a lot of guys that feel like women that are, for instance, Cardi B and Megan, they're calling them hoes, trashy, and all of this because they're showing everything to the world. But to them, they're looking at it like as sex positive, body positive images. You think men that are like financially not stable are the ones that are attacking them, or do you feel like as a whole all men feel that way, or majority of men feel that way, regardless of their financial status?
I think regardless of the financial status, because at the end of the day, when a man goes out on dates or he's out and about in the streets, how you dress is how we gonna perceive you. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be something short term, you're gonna be something long term. So if and it's not like this is the first video Cardi B and them came out with looking like that. So I don't know why anybody's even surprised on the fact of the matter of it anyway. So it's just, to me, it's just like, I can see how dudes who may not have as much money, I don't like the term broke. They may not have as much money.
They be broke, Joe.
I could be mad about it, but
and whatever, Negroes, they be broke. I'm sorry. I'm all for love, though. I
can see where it could be some peace because they want to obtain that, but it's just at the end of the day, I don't know. Like I said, I wouldn't be thirsting over, because dudes still find a way to get a nut off. They still find a way. They always gonna find that chick they gonna get it for free from. So And now they may want to give me lust for the Cardi B's and all that because she get her shit all done up and all that good stuff. But it's always gonna be haters. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if I agree.
Okay.
I feel like especially in the times of OnlyFans and Snapchat Premium and all these other things that you have to pay for. Men pay for sex. They pay to look at women. They pay to have themselves satisfied, and especially if they're lusting after a woman, they're gonna pay like whatever she charges, pretty much. Like I feel like men that have money do that. I'm not saying that men that don't have money are gonna do that. That's not what I'm saying. And that's why I feel like those are the ones that's pressed. Those are the ones that's pressed about, the evolution of the woman saying, you cannot have sex with me unless I have something to show for it at the end of the day. Because there's a chance that I might not have an orgasm. There's a chance that I could become pregnant. And there's most likely a chance that there's not going to be a relationship at the end of the night. So what am I walking away with? What's in it for me? And I feel like now it's an issue every time a woman or a female rapper starts, talking about sex and the things that she's capable of doing, and how she makes men feel. It's raunchy. It's not ladylike. It's blah blah blah. But women have been hypersexualized in music since the 80s, and before that, before the 80s. But I'm talking about like music videos. How many, you can't even listen to a R&B song now with your kids in the car because the dudes are talking about, Chris Brown got a song talking about doing donuts on his, what you call it? What is a donut? You sit around in the car. He wants somebody to do all this while she was on top. Men have been talking about what they want women to do. Now, when women talk about, okay, I can do these things, but here's what's gonna happen. The men don't talk about that. They just, they got, what was it, tip drill? The dude swiping the credit card down the girl's butt crack. Nobody had a problem with that,
Right. I mean, I think people did have a problem with it, but it's also about what we allow to happen as women. And it's a healthy balance. Like back in the days when Little Kim was out, you also had a Queen Latifah, you also had a Sister Soldier. You had different women to look to for different things. Right now, everything is just sex, twerking, fat ass, flat stomach, weeds. Like it's a bit. I'm raising a daughter, so it's a scary time out there, and I feel like labeling yourself as a hoe, because that's what the is about. There's some hoes in this house. Labeling yourself as a sexual being, you're putting yourself, like Joe said, in this category. So when men do approach you, they may not be as respectful as they should be, and it's going to be taken out of content. Which I'm not saying they're right for that, but men, a lot of people, they don't even think correctly. So you can't expect someone to respect you if you're not giving anything to respect. Now I'm all about body positive. I'm all about making your money and all that. But to me, I feel like we have crossed the line of no return, especially for Black people. You want to be labeled as a queen, you're acting like a peasant. You want men to respect you, you're not giving them anything to respect. So where do we draw the line? That's my thing. Cardi B, she's married. She can do whatever she wants. Meg, you're a single lady. You're out there putting out this image. I don't know. I'm like 50-50 with it because I would tell my son right now, don't ever date a woman like that. Would you let your son date a woman like that or go comfortable when you bring home a woman who is just like out there like that? Question is from Melissa.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Okay. No, just to answer that, no, I would not. But I feel like those. Okay, I'll just say like I'm not gonna put myself in the category of Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. I might like the music, I might understand where they're coming from, their their thinking process or whatever. But for one, I'm not a stripper. Cardi B is a stripper. She's an ex-stripper, so of course she's gonna exude a certain type of sexuality off of her that's natural at this point. Women aren't walking around. I mean, there are some women that are walking around like that, but women.
I'm sorry, hold that thought. We gotta pay some bills. We gotta definitely shout out our sponsor Edmund Gary with his credit repair services that he offers. He's a permanent sponsor on MelBee's Tea and a Cup of Joe. So we will roll a little clip of his commercial and a way to contact him.
Yes, while we pull this commercial up, definitely.
Yes, Edmund. During the show for the last episode. Yes, he goes live every Monday, 8:30 to 9 o'clock on Facebook, and he discussed all types of credit repair services that he provides. He is like the doctor of credit repair, which is really important, guys. We speak about this every podcast, how important it is to focus on your credit and get it right if it's not. So we just have to shout out our sponsor.
And even especially it's definitely he's definitely legit. If you wonder if he's legit or not, definitely legit. You definitely can learn some things, even watching all the videos and things of that nature, or even listening to the show. So definitely, if you're really serious about getting your credit right, trying to get that house and that car, yeah, that's cool right there. Get your credit right.
Well, I'm trying to snatch a little WAP. Check out his commercial, guys.
Yeah. Check it out. Check it out.
Of the dead. Edmund Gary of Follow Me will dispute the negative items being reported, request verification of the debt, and ask for a cease and desist required by law. Edmund Gary of Follow Me will monitor and watch your credit, addressing issues as they arrive to get you back on track for a good FICO score. Call Edmund Gary today at 404-437-2028 for a personal consultation on credit repair. The best cards for rebuilding your credit, second chance bank accounts, and how to buy a home. Edmund Gary, owner of Follow Me, says that credit is not forever, and I can fix it. Follow me. Follow me.
Follow me. You're asking if I'm okay. I'm A-okay, Senor. What's up?
Look, we starting this whole like commercial thing. Bear with us, y'all. But I will say, I forgot kind of like my train of thought about what we were talking about. You was asking me like if I would let my son date a Cardi B. My son would not be attracted to a Cardi B. I'm letting y'all know right now. But I will say that regardless of how a woman dresses and how she carries herself, because of hip hop and because of our culture and how our men have put us in categories, we don't know how they're viewing us. We only have control over our own, what we're putting out there. Like B said, we have to be very mindful of how we're dressing, but you could be like dressed very professional or just be a good girl, quote unquote. And a man might still try to dog you out and put you in a category because he's picturing life as he's a rapper. Everybody's in holes. So yes, it is all about, how you carry yourself. But at the same time, why are we even letting music determine how we should be? Like, it's entertainment.
Right.
Definitely
true.
And I think it's definitely an influence for, since in our culture we don't have that identity. So I guess we look towards entertainment and movies and music to kind of steer people in a certain direction. Because to tell you the truth, in the early 90s when like shows like Living Single and A Different World and the Cosby shows, all that was out, a lot of women emulated those looks. But when they was classy, they wasn't showing nothing. They was just wearing nice clothes that brought out their faces that made them look real nice. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm like, outside of any rap videos, you know what I'm saying? When those shows were out, I seen a lot more women back in the day that had that. They wanted to look like the Halle Berrys. They wanted the short haircuts. They wanted the nice little dresses, the little tops. You know what I'm saying? They might have had.
I want to stop you there, Joe. These women are still in existence. They're still in, mainstream media. You have Angela Rye. She's a commentator on CNN. You got Michelle Obama. You got all these other different influencers that are, people are attracted to them because of the way they dress. And it's not ratchet. Like, I feel like people are going to be attracted to different types of things. And the internet is so big and there's so many different, ways you could go. But I really don't feel like it deserves this much backlash, especially from men. When where was that energy last week when Chris Brown dropped a new video and, was girls are like pretty much naked. Where's that energy with any of these rappers, any of these singers? It's not just rappers now. It's R&B that's sexualized, and women are like just considered a piece of meat. Where was that? And like, it's okay for y'all to do it. It's okay for y'all to say, "Oh, this is how you deserve to be treated, like a piece of meat." It's a swarm of y'all, But as soon as you categorize yourself as a hoe, that means you're a hoe. You're not a hoe when I call you a hoe. You're only a hoe when you call. So what's the difference between that and like the N-word? You know what I'm saying? Like, we get mad when people want to call
white people call you the N-word only. When white people, so I feel like with the whole word, it's gonna be only when men call you a hoe is gonna be a problem. But if a female calls you a hoe, just like with the bitch word, it's okay. So I just feel like we're the ones that set in the tone at the end of the day. And like I said, I'm all for entertainment. I'm all for it, but I feel like there's a time and a place, like I stated before. Back in the days when Tip Drill came out, that video did not air until like midnight, Nowadays, these videos, clips of them are being shown on TikTok, on Snapchat, Instagram, and that really caters to the younger audience. So who are they really who are their audience? Their audience are like 13-year-old girls and 15-year-old girls. So I feel like it's a time and a place. Like we mentioned, like the song Sexual Healing, it was about sex. Tutti Frutti, it was about sex, However, it was the way it was presented. It wasn't like just out in your face. It was late night. It wasn't, that's all we had to look forward to. The lyrics on that song, to me, are not the greatest. I feel like they could have came harder, and I felt like the video looked cheap. That's my opinion. As far as women empowerment with sex, I'm not all for that slut walk that Amber Rose had. No, I'm not for it. What the fuck is a slut walk? Come on, we can just have ladies walking. Why do we have to put these labels on ourselves? These negative labels, all those words.
Because I feel like just like the N-word, people are, trying to adopt something and say like, if I normalize this word, then it can't cause me any type of, harm mentally. I'm not going to be offended. If you want to consider me a hoe or a whore, like I already know I'm not that. But you're gonna categorize me that based on what type of music I listen to, the way that I dress, all these other things. And it's the same, it can go both ways. Like, why use the N-word then? If we're gonna abolish the whore and the hoe, then we shouldn't be using the N-word. Because both of those are derogatory to our people, for one. And two, it's like, what are we getting out of it? We're not getting anything out of, degrading ourselves or whatever. But I just feel like it's only an issue when women say, okay, that's what you want to call me, then that's what I am. Like, but when the men call us that, it's okay. It's okay for men to have in every song oh, you're this and you're that. Even like, I know I keep saying Chris Brown, but I was listening to him today. Even I think it's on No Guidance, where he's like, you act like you shy, but I know you a freak. Like, even the shy girls can't, like, even the shy girls is getting labeled as freaks. What if they're not really freaks? It's like they putting everybody in the category of you a freak, you a hoe, it don't matter what you look like.
But I think that's like speaking to one person. But go ahead, Joe. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, let me ask you a question. So do you feel like that all of those people that's in that position that's putting that stuff out there are sellouts to the culture? Because if you really think about it, the higher end of it is that these labels are saying sex sells, so you're gonna have to do something sexualized, but you're gonna have to have sexy women on your video shoots in order for you to get this money, and this is how we gonna get this money. So, and technically, would you say they would be sellout to the culture?
I agree. I agree that they are sellouts to the culture because to me, you cannot label yourself a queen when you're doing peasant type shit. I'm sorry. They want Black Lives Matter. They want us to be respected. They want us to be held up all the way up here. But then the face of Black women is these hoochie mamas. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm all for the entertainment. I go to strip clubs. I love to look at beautiful women. I'm not going to front. However, it's a time and a place. It should not be on High Street. Like I was saying, breaking news. Cardi B drops a new album, a new video with Megan Thee Stallion. Meanwhile, if you think about it, it's the same time Beyonce dropped I Am King or We Are King.
Black is King.
So I feel like the ladies know that. Instead of you focusing on Black is King, now you focus on there's some hoes in this house. Come on, they're mind fucking us, and we need to be smarter than that. We need to be smarter because my daughter, I'll be doing that. I was walking around talking about there's some hoes in this house. I would snatch her little ass up. But I feel like I said, if they put more of the Black is King type of thing out there, that's what we need to focus on, not so much of this supposed house. There's a time and a place for everything. That shit needs to be played in every strip club around the world. Get your money, whatever, get your brand, however they say it nowadays. But that shit ain't playing on my radio. I'm sorry.
I will say that back to the original point of you saying like the people, these artists are sellouts. They're not sellouts. They're giving the people what they want. Because when you sit there, you in a full length dress down to your ankles and a head wrap, nobody wants to look at you. Nobody is listening to, I mean, people are listening. There's always a different demographic for everybody, but I feel like people like to be shocked. People are, watching the most rapid videos, people getting beat up, dragged through the dirt, 12 million views. You got a smart Black man online kicking knowledge. What we need to be thinking as a people, how we need to be moving forward and blah, blah, blah. 500 views. Nobody cares. Nobody like people, you can't have it both ways. Like you can't say like, oh, we need positive influence, but the positive influence is out there. We're the ones that's not giving attention to, what we need to take in. There's positive information all over the internet, everywhere. People don't want that. They want to be shocked. They want to be aroused sexually, and the music industry is capitalizing on that, rightfully so, because they have to go with themselves. So it's all about it's all about how you raise your kids. I know for me, growing up, it was video music box. Okay, my grandmother, I couldn't even listen to rap music. I used to sneak and watch video music box. Now we don't have that. It's just all over the internet, but it's all about how we're raising our kids, what we're telling them, like, okay, this is entertainment. This is not the real world. This is not how women carry themselves. Like, it's our job as a parent. It's not like, I don't know. What y'all think?
Go ahead, Joe.
I mean, you know, it's still when it comes down to, I think Marlon said, you got to separate. People got to learn how to separate the real reality versus the entertainment. And we so absorbed with the entertainment portion that people are really like the consequences behind it. Like when you're trying to do more than what you're capable of, as far as like, okay, I'm gonna be doing this, committing fraud, trying to just have money enough so I can have a chance to sleep with somebody that look like a Cardi B in the stallion, and then and then you pretty much giving up your whole purpose. You know what I'm saying? Just for something that's not real and it's just fake and it's entertainment. And we gotta learn. You know, some people in the community just gotta learn how to step up. And there's been rappers and there's been singers and all that won't when a producer comes to them about something that they feel like is too degrading, they won't do it. They'll go a whole nother direction and they might lose out on views and sales and all that, but they kept it true to themselves. Because I think who is it? I forgot what actor it is. I know actor said who is somebody famous, but I can't remember one actor he refuses. They might get him to dress up as a woman, kind of doing like a Tyler Perry thing. Refused to dress up. You know,
the guy from Shop.
Refuse, won't do it at all. Won't dress up. No. Now with the goof for Shy, it was a different situation with him. They try to have him have a relationship with a transsexual woman.
Okay, but that's still
going on right now. Yeah, but he still stood up for that. Like, hey, I'm not going to be doing that. So, So it's just a matter of perspective, and I think, and of course, there's always going to be that double standard. Because I used to be able to go outside, be outside all damn night, and my mom might have had a problem tonight, but my sister, see, oh yeah, it's be hell to pay. With boys and girls that just starting off from that stage, and men and women, the double standard is always going to be there. So. We can always talk about, well, how come men look at this and how men over sexualize that. We're men, we're physical, so that's what we just putting out there, things out there.
So I'm
not saying it's okay
for men to do it, is what you're saying.
But men, hold on.
I'm not saying it's okay.
Men are not.
No, I'm saying it's not. It's just that us being physical, we are physical first. You know what I'm saying? So all we doing is we putting stuff out there that's us, men. Now it's still up to the women to make that decision if they're gonna be in these videos. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Because we can't do it without women, correct?
Right.
And that's what women decide they want to show up, they want to go ahead and put themselves out there. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Bernie.
No, but Joe, you absolutely hit it on the head. It's like men. You don't see music videos with men out there with their penises out. Popping. I mean, it will come across homosexual, yes, but they're not really exposing themselves. They're using us to do the dirty work, and I feel like we just keep falling right into the trap. We are music. African Americans, Black, Hispanics, we are music. We are style. We are culture. We are sound. We are all of those things wrapped up into one. So we give people what they want. My shirt. To some people, because it's a little like sheer, can be overly sexual. You understand what I'm saying? Right, your shoulders being out, that might be sexual. It doesn't have to be your whole entire nipple. It doesn't have to be your asshole.
The areola.
Right, it doesn't have to be your asshole on the street.
Hey, don't forget about.
If we stop doing those things, if we stop.
Forget about them chokers.
The chokers. No gag reflex. Yeah. No, I'm joking. If we stop giving people those things, the music will still go on. People will just have to accept it after a while, right? You will just have to accept it. If Cardi B decided, you know what, I'm not going to be doing all this extra stuff out there. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, but I'm still going to put music out there. People are still going to listen because it's music. At the end of the day, if your music is good, it's going to sell. I definitely understand what you're saying, Mel. Men they do whatever they want and they get away with it. They do.
And it affects us because I feel like it's not just music. I feel like if you're listening to things on a daily basis, you're going to be influenced by it. And a lot of the times, you know, for years, men have been, you know, brainwashed into believing that women are just tools for their sexual gratification, and that polyamorous relationships are the way to go. You know, most music videos, you're not the man unless you got hundreds of women behind you. You know, nobody talks about getting married. Nobody talks about, you know, commitment as far as men are concerned. They only talk about and idolize the whores. And then they go out and they cheat on their boring, innocent wives that are at home, cooking and cleaning and raising the children. And then you have a whore, quote unquote, Cardi B come and said, I don't cook, I don't clean, but I still got the ring. Now everybody's like, well, damn, I've been cooking and cleaning for 15 years. I ain't getting no ring yet.
But look who she got the ring from.
That's not the point. The point, they're not looking at her husband. No, listen, they're not looking at, let me tell you why they're not looking at that. Because just because Offset is a thug, quote unquote, he cheated on her numerous times. So does the businessman with the suit and tie.
Go ahead.
Okay, and so does this been going on since the 60s. How many times have we seen like our grandmothers and great grandmothers talking about their husband or their ex-husband had 2 or 3 other families? He wasn't a thug. He was going to the factory.
Right.
You know, while she was home raising the kids, he found somewhere to stick it, and then created a whole nother family. So it's like with women, we're very vulnerable when it comes to relationships and, you know, sitting down roots as far as creating an environment for our families. And at the end of the day, women have been, you know, giving their bodies to men in the hopes of, you know, love. And when they don't get it, they might get a child at the end, right? And the man leaves, he can go and be with his other women. Wow. That the music video is telling him to go have with the other women, right? And now because he was broke to begin with, and he couldn't provide to begin with. He's not helping her. So that's where women lose. Women are on the losing side of this whole like misogynistic, hypersexualized culture that we have going on. So it's like, I feel like, yes, Cardi B is like kind of like, oh, you know, like, glamorizing the stripper thing. But at the end of the day, that's all women want. Women want stability. Women want to know that they're going to be taken care of. If push comes to shove and she has a child, can this man provide? And a lot of these men can't even provide a happy meal for themselves. They can't even provide a happy meal for themselves. They don't have their own car. They don't have a place to live. They jump from woman to woman, home to home. I'm not talking about high value men. I'm talking about low value men that glamorize this lifestyle and this music. Those are the ones that need to be, you know, addressed and say, well, you have to invest into this, like, because I'm gonna be stuck with the child while you still a bum.
Narissa Burton had a good time. She said, how come Taylor Swift came out with her single album and probably didn't do anything considered degrading to women? Why is it that, and this question is for you, Joe, because I want a man's perspective. Why is it that white women, other women of other races, don't have to be so edgy and hypersexual to push an album? Why do you think that is?
I think for one, it's the lack of exposure, like how we put ourselves out there, and you know, because you see, I can't even recall too many videos with or a bunch of Caucasian women with super sexualized like we are. You know what I'm saying? And then also too, it's just a different standard. It's kind of like going back to what I said a couple of podcasts ago about when how when black men date white men before they date the man or another man from another, they always tend to say before they like, oh, the dude I want him to be a roughneck. I want him to be able to tell me, put me in my place and do this and do that. But when they with a Caucasian dude, they don't have that same requirement, and they're not talking the same thing. They just submissive, and and like I said, so I think at the end of the day, it's just exposure. We putting ourselves out there. Even when I seen stuff about, I think they did some kind of documentary about how people from other countries view black people, and a lot of them refer back to. I see a lot of shows and music and movies about black women that have us thinking that black women are ready for sex. They ready to bust it down and drop it anytime, any moment, and that's because that's all they see is media stuff, media, and don't even have an active experience with black. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what it comes down to is just the exposure. Like I said, you can look at.
Oh, I was gonna say, y'all act like
you saying something?
This is new for black women to be hypersexualized. Like we've been hypersexualized since slavery. They've been cutting. They used to cut off the woman's genitals and put them in a museum. What was that tribe that you told me about?
I think it's the Hottentot tribe. It's one of those tribes where they cut off the women's clitoris so she doesn't feel pleasure during sex. And yes,
but also it was the butt. It was the butt that
Hottentot tribes where their behinds are like ginormous, and it's like that's what attracts the men. You're absolutely
right. What I'm saying is that this is what we're trying to say needs to stop. Is going to take so much time to correct. Like this is nothing new. Like black women have always been, this hypersexualized person for multiple races, especially for Caucasians, but black men, that's how it's up to the black men. To be honest, it's up to the black men to say, this is how my women, my black women are queens. Y'all are the ones that have to put us on a pedestal.
I disagree with you. You're absolutely right. I feel like they should put us on a pedestal. But if we're not giving them anything to put up there, how are they going to put it up?
We've been doing that though. We've been saying when UNITY came out, I wish I would have did some more research before. But the UNITY, Queen Latifah was probably around the same time as Naughty by Nature, You Down with OPP. Like,
you're absolutely right.
It's always been, and because the music industry is oversaturated with men, that's exactly why it's their responsibility to hold us up to a different light. Because women are saying like, well, you're not noticing me. You're calling me a hoe and other things. Anyway,
now we calling ourselves hoes. I'm sorry.
No, we should. I'm not saying that we should be calling ourselves hoes, but at the same time, if you don't feel loved and respected because you're a prude, and the hoe is the one that's getting the attention and acknowledgement, which one are you gonna be like? Okay, I'm gonna continue to be a prude and pray. Where's my Bible? You're gonna continue to pray and say, okay, in Psalms chapter. I'm just saying, like the men are the ones that have to speak life into us. Y'all always want us speaking life into y'all. Speak life into us.
They have been. I mean, you're absolutely right. I'm always 50-50 with it. I definitely agree with you with the men needing to put us up on a pedestal, but I always go back to what are we putting out there? You cannot put someone on a pedestal if you're giving them garbage. Most men are not going to put garbage on a pedestal. So it's up to us. And we just say, we strike. And we say, you know what? No more of us being labeled as hoes. We're going to act such and such like the Claire Huxtables of the world. The music industry would collapse at some point and would have to accept that type of image. And they would have to push it because it's money at the end of the day. We are not giving them that image to push. We are giving them the whole twerk image. And I think that, you know, like I said, there's no healthy balance. I want to see the healthy balance. That's all I'm asking for. Because the whole mentality, that whole behavior, that twerk shit, the city girl shit, the Cardi B shit, it is entertaining. I want to hear that when I go to a club. But you know, but at the end of the day, we need balance. The Jill Scotts, the India Iries. We need that healthy balance. And it's up to us as women to put that first. And hopefully the men will, you know, honor it and put us on the pedestal.
You know where it starts?
At home.
I'm going to let you know where it starts.
I got it.
It starts with Black men being in the homes, okay? It starts with Black women having fathers to tell them you are a queen. You are this.
And this is how
it takes the Black father to tell his son, don't go after women like that.
And don't treat women like that either.
You know. But where are everybody's a perfect father now, but everybody's being raised in single parent homes where the Black mother is responsible for every damn thing. Okay. And I'm not okay, we're gonna make an exception for Joe because Joe is a single father, blah blah blah. But how many Joes do our listeners know? How many Black men do you see raising their children by themselves or being married? So it's not always on the Black woman.
Not at all.
I feel like it's so many, and these dating coaches, everybody's demographic and market is directed towards the Black woman. Oh, you have to be this, you have to do that, you have to do, and you must do. Like, who's coaching the men? We're the Black men coaching other men that did not have Black fathers in their household, so they don't know what is required from them in society. Like, I feel like it always goes back to the Black men. They want to be respected and they want to, you know, have the, you know, us worshiping them and being submissive and all of that. But where are they at for the guidance? For men and women, because they're the dominant ones, they're the masculine ones. So where are they at?
So
why aren't they?
I'm going to interject.
Why aren't they stopping these type of productions and saying, I don't want Black women, you know, being viewed?
So, y'all there? I think we have technical difficulties. All right, so I'm gonna give you a counter on that. So how I see it is, it could be like the chicken and the egg thing all over again, all around. You know, for me as a Black man, I feel like the women have control and the influence. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, for us, if he's a Black man, you know, the woman set the standard. Even if because if you look at it like this, let's say you had a dude that didn't have no fathers around to influence him, or a Black man to influence him. If he's trying to be with a woman that he really likes, and she has the standard for him, I require you to do this, I require you to do that, he's gonna do it. And that's without even knowing or even getting any knowledge from a Black man. So I think the women truly have the power to set the standard regardless of the fact. So I put it a little more on women, because without y'all, a lot of this stuff don't happen. You know what I'm saying? We could be the man all day. Nobody out here paying money to see dudes and swinging their penises around. It's at women, and it definitely ain't no. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I truly believe, countering what you saying, Mel, that I believe is a little bit more on black women. I'm not saying it's totally our responsibility, but a little bit more on y'all because I technically control things
exactly why. That's exactly why we don't make no damn progress in our community, because everybody is like, you the one that's responsible. No, I shouldn't have to do it. I got enough stuff to do. No, you do it. Like everybody's saying, and in the meanwhile, it don't never get done. You know what I'm saying? So somebody somebody has to be able to step up and say, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Like you saying that it's up to the mother. Why is it up to the mother and the black woman to do to raise the son, to be the man of, and then what is his job once he becomes a father?
Which job to be is when he once he becomes a father. I mean, he's gonna learn from like for me, for example, I've mostly been raised by women. I've had males in my life when my pops was around, and I seen him. When I seen him, he had a good influence from the times I did see him, but he mostly wasn't around. And then like when I had uncles and stuff that came in my life, and they'd be like, hey, make promises. Hey, I'm gonna get you a cool little baseball hat, or I'm gonna get you a baseball jersey, and I'll be like, all right, cool. I'll be all excited and shit, and then they disappear, and I don't see their ass again for another couple of years, and they come back and tell me the same thing and give me constant disappointments. But you know what I'm saying? So in the process of me growing up around the women that I grew up around, my grandmother, my mother, my aunt, all that good stuff, I kind of watched and learned through the times of seeing like, okay, through their experiences with men, what they don't like or what they don't want from men, and what they do enjoy and what they expect from men. So really comes down to the person and your learning curve as a person. Do you pay attention to your environment, or do you let outside influence your ideas and your decision making? And for me, I consider myself to be a thinker. I always observe everything around me and seeing that, okay, I made my mistakes, but I think eventually people will get to that point. When people get to that point, or you get to that point, you're gonna eventually. Most people will get to that point of understanding. It's just a matter of when in your life you're gonna get to it. I feel like women mature faster than men. So in the same time, that's why I still feel like women can set that influence, and it's still going to take a man to learn how to be a man through his other experiences, but the woman could still set the tone for him and be like, okay, this is you need to be opening my door, you need to be grabbing the groceries out. And those are things that as a man I would teach my son, like the groceries, make sure you open the door for the woman, make sure your sisters ain't carrying their big bags if it's heavy, you know what I'm saying, all that good stuff. So it's not like it's not possible to be taught to a man from a woman. It's just he's still gonna have to have his own experience. You know what I'm saying?
My ass.
Yeah.
Joe,
Obama.
Oh shit, no. You're absolutely right, but at the same time, it can't, like Mel said, it can't always be on us to set the tone, to raise kids. Like at the same time, we can set the tone, we can be good girls doing everything right, but you're still golden us out in the process. So where is the in between? Where is we're gonna meet each other in the middle and do this shit together? That's where we're lacking. We can set the tone all day long, and you can still be a douchebag. So you guys have to also bring something to the table. It's not always us. And even if you see your sister, your queen, or another black woman doing something that might be out of character, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, look, that's a little extra. Why don't you tone it down a little bit? Even a woman that you potentially want to date, she may not have that influence. She might have been raised all effed up. So you as a black man, you might say to yourself, hey, let me school her on maybe being more ladylike or not being so ratchet or whatever the case may be. There's nothing wrong with teaching and learning from each other. Because there's some girls out there that's completely lost. And that's what I'm afraid of. The lost ones that's going to look at these Cardi B's and these Megan Thee Stallions and think hoe is life. And hoe is not life. Hoe is not going to get you very far in life. You understand what I'm saying? So that's where the problem lies. You need to put those positive influences out there as well. And when you have a strong mind and you have a strong backbone, then it's okay to delve in whatever, however you say it, dip and dive into all of that entertainment. But if that's all you know and that's what you are following as a lead, it's going to be a disaster. We're just going to be raising a bunch of whole ass bitches. Sorry to say it like that, but that's how I see it.
What I was going to say was I feel like a lot of the times we can't assume that a woman or a man even had a mother. You know, I grew up in foster care, you know, not foster care like going from foster home to foster home, but I grew up in a group home where I was around people that had way more effed up lives than me. You know, and some people don't have that guidance, and we can't expect for them to know off the rip, you know. But like B was saying, as far as, you know, just being a positive influence like Joe, even if you're not sexually attracted to somebody, maybe you could turn into like a mentor.
Right.
You know, and tell someone, you know, hey, you're valuable. You matter. Like,
put some clothes on and stop sucking dick.
Right. And I feel like, you know, but I'm always gonna feel like it's, you know, it's very important for the man to be in the home, you know, and it shouldn't always fall on the woman to, you know, raise both, you know, a daughter that's gonna have high self-esteem and a son that's gonna know how to be a man. It's not, you know,
it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. It is. And I feel like even with Joe saying like he had uncles and stuff like that would come and say they were gonna do something and then disappear, whatever. Like the fact that you was able to like, you know, rise above that and be a good father is great, you know, but that falls on your uncle's shoulders. Why weren't they, if your father wasn't in the home, why didn't they step up? You know, and that's why our community is lost, you know, and looking at the Cardi B's and the Tory Lanez and the Meg Thee Stallions as idols, as people that's living this lifestyle. Like, why do I have to respect women when, you know, I don't have to? Like, there's no positive role models.
Right.
You know,
why do I have to respect men? Because I definitely tuned into Tory Lanez, quarantine, whatever he was doing every weekend. And it was just straight degrading to women. Women pouring milk on their asses, twerking just to be on his live. And it's like, damn, if he didn't have that platform, then there would be no quarantine radio. But then again, if there's no women participating, there will be no show. So it all goes back to us being 50-50 and a team effort. And I just hope and pray that we move forward. And as I'm, you know, pushing 40, I'm 37, but I'm getting and I'm watching my daughter and my son, and I'm like, this world is out of control. I know my mama used to look at me when I used to listen to Little Kim and all of that, and to me it was nothing. You know, it was like, so what? She's talking about sucking dick and riding this and whatever. Right. And I feel like we are the ones that make a change. This change starts with us. Like I said, Black people, we are the pioneers of music. We got the soul, we got the look, the swag, everything. People emulate us. So whatever we do, however we flip it, swip it, trip it and bounce it, people will jump on the bandwagon. So it's up to us. And Cardi B is not Black. I'm sorry. I have a big problem. That this can be a whole other topic because I know we'll be running over time. But Cardi B is not the face of Black women. That is a Hispanic woman. Let them.
Hispanic people are Black though.
They are, but at the same time, Jennifer Lopez is. Look, this is a whole other topic. They are Black, but That is not the face of Black women. I'm tired of seeing Cardi B as the face of Black women. This is what Black women represent, and that's what they're doing. This is not fair. Not all Black women represent that behavior. I'm sorry.
No, not all Black women represent that. Not all Black women represent that, or she doesn't represent all Black women. But I'm sorry, I'm gonna always put it on the Black men. Y'all can call me like difficult or whatever. Like,
you're in trouble tonight, boy.
Like, y'all could call me difficult or whatever, but Black men need to step up and put self-confidence, instill self-confidence in their daughters, so they're not going out there trying to get attention from men or trying to get their bills paid by men, because their fathers are taking care of them. Black fathers need to step up and take care and influence and motivate and instill certain values in their sons, so they're not out here degrading women because they want to have sex.
Right.
Okay.
And Black women need to be in their Black daughters' lives, right from wrong, and separate the entertainment from real life, and honoring your body, honoring respect, knowing that you are held to a higher standard, and don't let no fuck boy come in there and destroy your life, and stop bringing all these different men around your daughter and your son and his son. That's my affirmation for today, by the way. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, definitely all about influence, man. Everybody has a role to play in their influence. You definitely gotta
throw it in the trash, Mel Sama.
It's all about influence.
Not all women is having hot girl summer. Some of us is over here praying.
Where's my prayer cloth? Let me just put my prayer.
Well, some of us is over here praying. We praying.
Yeah, so pretty much what's going on. Yeah, just pretty much it's all about influence, and everybody has their own role to play as Black men and Black women. And like I said, it could be chicken and the egg all day. Chicken and the egg, what came first? Who's responsible for this? But at the end of the day, everybody gonna have an influence, and there's a balance in the universe. So there's always gonna be ratchet, and there's always gonna be classy. So we try to get a little bit more of the right side of where we want versus the other side. So that's it. But I do have an affirmation for today.
Okay.
And my affirmation for today is all our listeners, go ahead and contribute to your favorite podcast, MelBee's Tea and a Cup of Joe. There is our cash app bottle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cash app MelBee Joe.
MelBee Joe. Cash app, whatever you want. So we can be online and bring you these juicy topics on Sunday.
I'm a female Taurus. Okay, Mel.
Yeah. Taurus is wow. Yeah, out there.
She's hard-headed, but she's really enjoy our conversation and our listeners and all the comments and feedback, because we as people, like I said, we are the generation that's going to make the change for our children. So we got to put our best foot forward and put on our thinking caps. Remember in elementary school, put on your thinking cap and be a realist and realize that we are destroying the imagery of Black women and Black men. If you do not stand behind us and support us, you are not helping the situation get any better. So don't be mad when your daughter's out there with a fast food page or with her whole asshole out. Okay? We need our Black men to be our backbone. We need the support. And y'all gotta stay in the home and your son, your nephew, your cousin, whoever it is, so you could be successful and a good, however you call it, to community.
That's interesting, because I real quick, I know, you don't want your daughter to end up like Montana Fishburne, and because that was devastating for Pop.
That was a good point, but go ahead, y'all.
He was in the home, I don't know, but yeah, you gotta definitely set the influence, and sometimes even if you do it all right, it still may not come out right, because there's plenty of children out here that have the mother and father in the home and still find a way Fuck it up. So
Nature.
it's not always an appearance. It's about influence. Our rants around the influence as well. So, outside of the parenting is outside influence and what you introduce and allow them to listen to, what you allow them to watch, those things like that. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But hey,
can I have an affirmation?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so my affirmation for this week for our listeners is focus on what you are bringing in. Bringing into your spirit, bringing into your auditory system, all of that, because it's going in, and focus on abundance, focus on prosperity, focus on putting yourself on a pedestal. Don't worry about if the Black man is not valuing you or if the Black woman, might have other Black women referring to themselves as whores. Don't internalize that and identify with that. Focus on yourself and what you are trying to bring into your life, into your experience. Yeah. So that's all I have to say about that.
I love that. I really do. And I want to thank all of our listeners and our sponsor, Edmund Gary, our credit repair solution, and Mel Sama for being very active on this podcast.
Yes, and coming for me. He's been coming for me the whole time.
They're both Taurus. So, and the rest of Bergen, Judith Jackson and Kenyor, and Ishmael, and all of our permanent listeners and the storm. And I really thank y'all for joining in today. This was a controversial topic, and it was tough for me because I go back and forth with women's rights and how men view us, because it's like natural. It's just something that's inside of me. I'm a person, and I always see both sides. And I'm trying to get married, so let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all want us twerking, or y'all want us in the kitchen? No, I'm joking. I'm a freak in the sheets in the late street.
I will say what I want men to take away from this whole podcast and from this song, focus on your focus on your education. Men, I'm talking about. Focus on your education, focus on your career so that you can afford to have
pussy. No,
so that you can afford to have a wife and you can afford to take care of your children. So get your money up, sir. I'm going to say that. I'm going to continue to say it. And I don't care if y'all mad at it. It's important. We need our Black in the home providing.
And women, get your money up too, because it's a new day.
We got money.
We do, and we always have like that little squirrel's nest. We always have also always be independent and know that at the end of the day, it might fall back on you, and you always got to be on the That's all I got to say.
We tired of being independent. We want
we independent. I feel like we always have a secret savings account for a rainy day, because sometimes men, they might fuck it up.
Yeah, but at the same time, men, women have your money on the side, but men, we tired of being independent. We need y'all to take care of us. We need y'all to have jobs, and we need y'all to be able to provide for your families.
That's right. We tired, baby. We tired. But thank you for joining us.
We got money, okay?
We're gonna log off and. Yeah, I got money. Mm-hmm. You got money? Hit me up. Let me stop. Thank you everyone for joining into our show. We'll be back next Sunday, 6 p.m. or 6:10, because we color people.
6 p.m.
And new topics, new view. And we will be back next week. And later, y'all. Have a good week. Yeah.